Alright, so my brother's in the Air Force, and he was coming home from Christmas last year, and there was bad weather, so his flight was transferred from Providence to Hartford. We live very close to Providence, so we're like, oh, we'll pick him up there. And when it was transferred to Hartford, my parents were just like, would you mind picking him up? And I had no problem with that. It'd be a fun drive. It's 2 hours away. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, so it was going to be a late night going down there to pick him up. So I went there with 2 friends who were also excited to go see him, like neighborhood friends, Thomas and Ryan. And we're driving down there, and it's a fun drive. We're just like listening to music and stuff. And then we get there, and it's around the time that his plane is going to land. Close to it, we're probably like half an hour early. And we're just hanging out outside where all the terminals converge, and they meet by baggage claim. And we're just sitting there like screwing around, and this lady has an Android, and the Android notification sign for text is so her phone keeps going off, and then we start amongst ourselves doing that whistle, so she keeps checking her phone, like, what the hell is... She'll look at her phone, and then she looks at us, and we're like, oh, ooh. She's like, oh, you guys doing that whistling? We said, yeah. She said, oh, that's funny. And then we started talking to this lady, asking what she was doing there. And she said that she was waiting for her daughter and her son-in-law, because they'd just gotten back from a cruise in the Caribbean. We said, oh, that's interesting. Like, cruises are cool. And she said, yeah. She said that her daughter's company does it every year. Rents out the entire cruise, and then just open bar, have a blast. And last year they ended up booking a musical guest, Snoop Dogg, to play on the cruise, which is cool. Like, you just get to see Snoop Dogg and then get drunk with him on a boat. Very cool. So we said, wow, that's really cool of your daughter's company to do that. And she said, yeah. And apparently this year, they dropped like a significant more amount of money for a musical act, but she didn't know what it was. She's like, I can't wait to hear what it is. And we were like, me too. Like, or we also would like to hear that. Like, hopefully we'll see your daughter come by and we'll be able to find out. So then we left just to go smoke a cigarette outside the terminal or something. Come back like 10-15 minutes later, and unfortunately the lady is gone. We're like, shit. Now we're never gonna know who the musical act was. So we were just sitting there, like, kind of bummed out. But it was like a fleeting thing, like, you know, you can't care about that stuff, that's life. So then probably like 10 to 15 minutes later, my brother gets off the plane. I'm very excited to see him. I'm like, how are you? How you doing? He said, yeah, it's all good. And then just knowing flights and stuff, like, something interesting always happens on a flight, whether it's like a baby on a flight, like sitting next to a fat guy. I was like, so how was your flight? Did you see anything interesting? And then he was just like, well, I was sitting next to this couple that just got back from the Caribbean, and we were like, what? And he was like, yeah. So then we asked, who was the musical act on the cruise ship? And he was like, LL Cool J. And we were like, what the fuck? How does he know that? Just that made me like take a step back for myself and just being like, I can't believe I got a conclusion to that story that I was so detached from anyways, but was so concerned about in the moment. I was so ready to be like, I'm never gonna know who the musical act was on that cruise, and then just got my answer.